I've just done a dum-dum. I've been recording for bloody ages and forgot to turn this on. In other words, no audio. Never mind, start again. Now I am very much what you would call a butterfly modeller. By that, I don't mean I take hours on end making models of butterflies as pretty as they are. No, I'm one of these people who tends to flip from task to task. For instance, since the last exciting instalment of Aren't Trains Great, I dug this LMS inspection saloon out of its box after 10 years, weathered it, converted it to EM and fitted AJs to one end only. It only needs one end, doesn't it? I weathered these two cove hops and fitted AJs to a lot of stock that's got no place on this layout. I painted, weathered, put decals on and fitted AJs to this, which is my engineer's spoil train. Apart from the shark, I haven't worked out how the hell to get the AJ on that yet. I finally got round to painting the ultra-scale wheels up on this 3F. I made a half-decent start at weathering the roof of this building for Sandside. A long way to go yet. Far too uniform. I started to make the return cranks for the wheels on this Evat, which as you can see at the moment hasn't got any wheels. They're all here. And yes, I still need to file them a bit so the return crank is centred. You can't use the original ones when you use Gibson wheels because they're too chunky and they look crap. Twins! It's just one's disabled. I built a few wagon kits. This window here is flush glazed now. The original one was missing. Took bloody ages to file down. And I don't know why I bothered. Bought this second hand and look at the state of the weathering on it. Looks like it was weathered with a stick using Chewbacca's brown eye as a paint pot. I discovered, to my utter joy, that this Black 5, which I have spent a long time detailing, was already converted to EM gauge. And I have no idea when, who by, how. Never mind, I'll take it. And because I found out that it was EM gauge already, somehow, I progressed with it. Not much. I painted the buffer beam red. A task outstanding for 6 years, I think. Maybe 7. But it's not really that I've got a butterfly mind per se. It's more that I have a few things that I enjoy doing, a few tasks I want to get done, and I get into something, spot something elsewhere, have a go at that, or I'm waiting for paint to dry, or something like that. But it does keep me interested. You see, the thing with model railways, as mentioned last time, is it's a very broad church. You get your people who just collect stuff. You get people who have the latest and greatest ready to run bright shiny things and run them on set track loops, each to their own. You get people who want to modify stuff, change stuff, and you get people who just love to build and tinker and mess around, and I think that's the category I fall into. So I got back into the hobby about 15, 16 years ago, and I had a few locos I bought and wagons and things like that, Pico Streamline, and made a layout in my attic. It was an end-to-end, and I enjoyed building it. It was alright, wasn't great, but it was fun. But then I finished building it, and I got bored. So I started to weather stuff, not very well at the time. And then I got inspiration to have a go at something else. I wanted to make a model of Bake-Up Station, in which all the buildings needed to be scratch built, the track needed to be hand built in 00 at the time because I couldn't get it to work using Pico Streamline, and that took a long time, and I enjoyed it. Here's what remains. But even with Bake-Up, which it got finished at a point where it was in magazines, I found myself running out of things to do. Plus, at the time, I was hanging around with, I suppose, people who were more interested in EM gauge, and it just tempted me. And when you see it, you can't unsee it. The difference in track gauge, I mean. Say what you want, it does look better than 00. but not P4, obviously. But the thing is, with Bake-Up, with this layout, I find myself, and always have done, spending more time building and tinkering than I do playing trains. I do play trains, but not very often. Much more likely to be found downstairs at the bench, fiddling around with stuff. And all that kind of leads on to this. The buildings for a layout which hasn't even really been started and will be many, many years before it's completed. A lot of the wagons I'm making and stuff like that is for this layout, many years off completion. There's quite a lot of locos. Some already converted to EM, others waiting their turn to be converted to EM. Absolutely none of which are any use for the layout in there. This, for instance, an 8F. Absolutely pointless on a layout like this. It would never happen. To be honest, I've no evidence of them appearing at Sandside either. But you've got to have a bit of modeller's licence, haven't you? But the thing is, having a layout that's a long way off completion, hell, it's hardly started, with so much to do, is what interests me and keeps me interested. Because it's that challenge of building everything and making everything. Hell, it's one of the reasons I went for EM gauge. Because it's that extra little bit of complexity. Something I wanted to get involved in, teach myself, grow with my own experience and stuff like that. Not for everybody, by a long shot, but that's what interests me. I would rather be at the bench, fettling with something, getting it wrong 9 times, right on the 10th time, because next time I'll know a bit better. And it's learning and it's enjoyable. It's the singing salsa. Ooh, it's rap. Going back to the point earlier about all the different levels of railway modelling, whether it's just playing trains on a track mat, whether it's collecting, whether it is taking hours and hours building something, it's all fun, it's all enjoyable, and one isn't better than the other. It really is what interests you. There was times building this where I went absolutely bonkers with having to scribe the stone and thinking, how the hell do I make the supports for the canopy and everything else? It took a fair bit of just trying to work things out. That's what I enjoy. I'd say I'm a bit of a nerd for that, but come on, it's toy trains. We're all nerds, like it or not. See, I think the thing for me is that rather than feeling there's so much to do, too much to do, it's that one day there won't be enough to do. And then what? Start again? Probably. So there we go. Another video. And me not showing you how to do anything, not opening any boxes, not really running a layout, just waffling on. Hopefully it's been enjoyable though. I've enjoyed my last month of modelling. Next time, well, who knows? We'll have to see, won't we? Bye-bye. And just so you know, this is the 3rd bloody time I've recorded this, because the 2nd time the audio failed as well. Oh, I'm so happy about that. And it's fucking not working now either, is it? Or is it?